The other people.
Speaking of shows coming back, um, Kids in the Hall.
Oh, my favorite.
Now, I don't know. I mean, I've done a little bit of research about Kids in the Hall, but tell us a little bit about your introduction, how you came into liking Kids in the Hall.
The Kids in the Hall, they are the sketch comedy troupe. It's almost like a dark comedy, sketch comedy group from Canada. Lorne Michaels actually produced their show. But my sister and I used to watch it. We'd hide in the basement and watch Kids in the Hall back when it was on either Comedy Central or like HBO.
Well, see, I remember it re-airing on Comedy Central because I've watched Kids in the Hall, like the opening, and I was like, which one did I always see? But I also learned that it ran on CBS on Friday. I think it's at Fridays late night. You can check that out if you want. I might be wrong, but I had no idea.
Oh.
And I think it did air on HBO and MTV. I think I don't because there's several that are close, like Kids in the Hall. Then there was one that a couple of there was
the State. There was Exit 57.
Stella. Do you remember one called Stella?
Stella.
Had a few people from the State.
The State, yep.
Michael Ian Black was in both of them, I think.
There was a lot of sketch comedy shows back then. What was the other? Exit 57. Shoot, there was one more. I can't remember. The Upright Citizens Brigade.
Yeah, Upright Citizens Brigade. I think that one might have Michael Ian Black as well. I think, and also there was
Ben Stiller Show.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The Ben Stiller Show. Yeah, the Andy Dick Show. That was early 2000s, but
In Living Color.
Yeah.
Oh, that show was so good.
Mad TV. So you had a lot of those.
Yeah.
What was one of the standouts for you about Kids in the Hall?
Back when I used to watch it, I loved, first of all, Foley, Dave Foley.
Yeah.
I just loved anything that Dave Foley did. I thought he was hilarious. But the older I've gotten, the more and more I've appreciated Scott Thompson and his monologue that he does. Oh man, what's the
Scott Thompson is one of my would probably be my favorite kid in the Hall.
The older I get, and it's funny because he's the reason why the Kids in the Hall even exist, because Mark McKinney and Kevin McDonald used to work together. No, Mark McKinney and Bruce McCauley used to work together, and Kevin McDonald and Dave Foley did stuff together. Scott Thompson had seen them both and said, like, we all need to get together and do this. And they were like, fine. So they all got together and formed Kids in the Hall. But he used to do it's crazy that he never, who was it? Lorne Michaels said that he wouldn't make it in America because he was openly gay.
Oh, okay.
But I think he would have made it in America. I think it'd been fine. But he played Buddy Cole, which is these little monologues that he used to do.
See, what was funny is that you mentioned Buddy Cole. Is if the audience wants to go back and watch, type in Tom Green, Scott Thompson, and there's a couple segments where he was on the show, and there's at least one complete show still on there, and he talks about he was doing a blog at the time. It was like 2007, and he was doing a blog as Buddy Cole and responding to people as Buddy Cole. And there was a cool Scott Thompson and Kurt Cobain clip that's really cool. It's like a 4-minute clip if people want to talk about or listen to that. Just talks about how Scott Thompson had met Kurt Cobain. He was at one of the Nirvana shows. Kurt Cobain had seen him from the stage, said, hey, come backstage, met him after the show, said, next time you're back in Seattle, let's hang out. Scott Thompson said that next time they were getting ready to do a show in Seattle, he's getting ready to call Kurt Cobain, up to talk to him. He turns on the news, Kurt Cobain's dead.
Wow.
So that's his little story. But yeah, it's a good.
That's crazy.
I mean, I know people were, expecting the Tom Green show to be like the old show, but the show online was more like a traditional talk show. Mm-hmm. But he had some pretty interesting guests, and I tuned in. I was a big supporter of it early on because it had a subscription it was like $5 or $10 a month. So he could fund the channel. Now you can do a lot of that stuff free, but at the time he needed the bandwidth and all that stuff. So he had to pay for that out of pocket. So he had to end up charging. Unfortunately, a lot of those episodes, they're no longer up anywhere. Like one with Val Kilmer, that was a cool one. And there's a Tom Green live episode that myself, Terry, and Tim that were in the audience. So that was kind of cool.
You got to go to one?
Yeah. Well, he recorded 3 at one time.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it was Eric Andre. Do you know him? He's like a comedian. He had a show called The Eric Andre Show on like Adult Swim.
Oh, yeah, I know his face.
I never found his show funny, but he was on. And then a pro skateboarder was on. And then Dr. Neil Hamburger. No, wait, he wasn't on. It was Dr. Ruel. It was like some kind of scientific doctor, which he was hilarious.
Ruel?
Yeah, I wish that I could find. You could hear me laughing. It's like awkward laughter the whole time because people didn't know if he was serious or not, but he was funny. He was
really?
Hilarious.
That'd be so cool.
But the episode's not on there. And there was a guy sitting in front of Terry, and he was super annoying. We had met him earlier in the Donut Prince. That's where Tom Green said to meet him. Or not us, but whoever wanted to meet for the show, meet at the Donut Prince. And this guy's named Aaron. He had met there, and he'd been to like every show for a while. He was so annoying, super annoying. He would like clap really loud over everything and like be super loud and obnoxious. So annoying. And I could tell Tom Green was actually getting upset because I was getting upset.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
If I lived in LA or New York, especially if I lived in LA and I had like time and money, I would go to all kinds of shows. Like Jeopardy, I'd go to like every episode of Jeopardy that I could get to.
Price is Right.
Price is Right. All that stuff. It'd be so fun.